As we turn now to words of Devar Torah, we are delighted to welcome to our bima, offer our Devar Torah, Barbara Stock, our member, who's going to address words of stay calm, transition on, thinking about some of the thoughts we all might be grappling with inside as we move out of the pandemic into the world and into a lot more time together in person. For those of you who don't know Barbara, she's a psychotherapist in private practice in Evanston. She's been a member of Beth Emet for more than 40 years and a facilitator of several of our Tikkun Midot Badot. She's the very proud mother of 3 sons and 8 grandchildren, and she has made innumerable transitions throughout her life and is happy to share her ideas on transitioning. Thank you, Barbara, for sharing your words with us this evening.
Thank you for honoring me with your invitation to speak tonight. I'd like to address the question of how to stay calm while we transition on. Our world is changing. Last weekend, Illinois fully opened, and that's good, right? Of course it's good. Numbers are way down. Those of us here are blessed. We survived. One way or another, we survived. And we are thankful as we prepare to transition into the post-pandemic world. And yet, even as we celebrate, our anxiety levels have ramped up. Most of us don't like change. Transitions are challenging. Remember when your elementary school teacher flipped the lights or clapped to transition you to a new task? We are creatures of habit. Even if we don't like what we're doing, we tend to stick with the familiar. The unknown, the unpredictable makes us anxious. In the past year and a half, we've managed our anxiety while we made many transitions. We began with shelter in place, leaving packages on the porch or in the garage for days, wiping down all the groceries, wearing not only masks, but disposable gloves. We were super cautious stepping outside. We lived on a continuum of caution, some taking more risk than others. Gradually, we learned we could open packages immediately, could shelf groceries without sanitizing, could wash produce without scrubbing, could walk outside keeping social distance. And miracles, most of us in our community are vaccinated. But this transition to reentry is moving us into a wider, more expansive unknown. And this unknown brings heightened anxiety. Many, many more decisions, few clear guidelines. When do we flip the lights? When do we clap? When do we know the pandemic is really over? The numbers are way down, but not zero. In order to make a more comfortable transition into this uncomfortable situation, we need to first review how the pandemic impacted each of us personally. Those of us who are retired had very different experiences from those coaching young children or adolescents while working from home. Children who struggled with remote learning may be excited to see friends, but they have lost much of the social skills and grace which allowed them to make and keep friendships. They may become more anxious when they begin to experience the reality of reentry at camp or at school. Pre-adolescents beginning middle school, adolescents beginning high school, and all those returning in any grade will be dealing with the excitement of the newness and also with the added anxiety and fears of reentry with peers they haven't seen except on the screen. Will buildings feel safe? Will teachers feel welcoming? Our children may experience layer upon layer of both excitement and anxiety. difficult to articulate. They will need parents to be with them with hesed, with loving kindness, with empathy and care as they walk this next path. They will need one-on-one time, quiet time to decompress. At the same time, we adults, parents or not, are meeting our own set of challenges. Whole industries have been decimated. The travel industry, the tourist industry, the entertainment industry, restaurant and hotel service industries, to name the obvious ones. And people who were laid off, quit their jobs, or became sick with COVID and stayed home are finding jobs hard to come by. They and new graduates are entering a strange new world with hundreds of thousands of jobs advertised with sign-up bonuses that few seem to be actually hiring. Newsweek recently reported more than 100 companies offering returnships to people out of work for 6 months or more. Why? Because employers are discarding resumes of people out of work for 6 months. 6 months? The pandemic lasted over a year. If you were fortunate enough to keep your job and work from home, you may unmute and feel free at last. The upside is you will be together with colleagues. The downside is you can no longer roll out of bed 2 minutes before a meeting, put on a clean top, and show up at the screen. You will need more time to dress below the waist and more time to commute. And even more important, if you've redesigned your home for office space, if you've realized how productive you can be without the distractions of colleagues, if your body has relaxed more without the stress of commuting, are you free to continue to work from home? Or are you employed by the government or a company that is insisting you come to the office? Apple, the company which created devices allowing us to work from home, is mandating return to the office in September. Rumor has it that the city of Chicago is pressuring employers to bring workers back into the city, to use public transportation and support city businesses. What does that mean for you? After being isolated, how do you feel about squeezing into crowded elevators, about wondering who is and is not vaccinated? By this time, most of us have taken some steps out of isolation. My wonderful daughter-in-law did all our grocery shopping through the pandemic. Now her work schedule no longer allows it. I was really nervous the first time I visited the Jewel. I actually had forgotten my way around. Like all of us, I had to consciously decide what time of day to shop, masked or unmasked, and many, many more decisions. Eat outside or inside, hug or not hug, fly or drive or not attend. How to measure the risk. For me, those first small steps out of my protected bubble seemed unreal. In a short time, they took on the feel of normal. After all, I had been isolated for only a year and a half. I've been with family and friends, shopping, hugging, and eating for decades. My body and spirit knew how to adapt. And adapt is what we need to do. Often with only our intuition as our guide. If you are typically an anxious person, you've probably developed coping strategies over many years. If this anxiety is new to you, allow me to give you some tips on how to manage heightened anxiety in this transition. First, slow down. Breathe. Deep breaths into your abdomen. Shallow breaths actually cause anxiety. Slow. Breathe deeply, perhaps count to 4, hold it, and breathe out to the count of 5 or 6. In with clear air, out with anxiety. Perhaps in this drought, you might use the acronym RAIN to manage your anxiety as we transition. RAIN. Recognize your feelings. Accept your feelings. Investigate your feelings. And nurture yourself. Recognize how you are feeling. Anxious or excited? Excitement feels good. Anxiety feels scary. As humans, we're capable of feeling both at the same time. Accept and acknowledge your feelings. You're human with a human body which has feelings and thoughts. If you struggle to push these away, they get bigger. Anxiety can become panic. Investigate. What are you telling yourself or reacting to, which may cause these feelings of anxiety to heighten? Is your worry realistic or catastrophic? And nurture yourself. Be kind and compassionate to yourself. This reentry is new. I got in the car and couldn't remember how to drive. It's been a while. We all get famished. We have to cut ourselves and others some slack. I'm a true believer in silence. Time to myself in solitude to think, to journal, to simply breathe. No matter how busy I am in the confusion and chaos of newness, I will need to find a few moments to connect with myself. What are you needing? What are you wanting? Do you need time to yourself, or time with friends? Or time to clean and organize and feel a sense of control? Time to unwind with distractions and fun? Hugs? Laughs? What sustains you? Now, for some other tools to manage anxiety in the transition, let's add midot, or character traits, to stay calm as we transition on. Hitlemdut, stay present. Recognize, accept, and stay mindful of what is happening inside and outside your body. Get out of your worry head and your catastrophic thinking. Right now, in this moment, you are safe. Remind yourself, you are safe. If you have reason to believe you're not safe, check it out. What is the reality? What changes can you make to feel safe, to manage your anxiety? Bahira, choice points. What are your possible choices? What are the external pressures on you? Are they real, or are you pressuring yourself? Study your own situation. Don't distract yourself with the problems or accomplishments of others. To compare is to despair. If you can't return to the office until school opens because of childcare issues, can you negotiate more work time from home? If you want to continue to have more downtime, more family time, more creative time, more exercise time, can you negotiate some days from home, or find ways to include these priority times in your new routine? If you don't want to continue this job, can you muster the courage to look for another job? Breathe and slow down to navigate your anxiety, to take time to look for options. Omets live, courage. We've garnered much courage to get through the past year and a half. We've met challenges daily. We're frequently exhausted, and yet we weathered on. Remember your courage Continue to access it as you move forward into the unknown. For myself, the world has become simpler. I spent less time shopping, less money on clothes, less on travel. Now I look in my closet, I say, I don't need stuff. I need hugs. I need time with people. I wonder if I'll be able to say no to invitations and make time for the truly important. Will you? At the same time, like many of us, I had time to become more aware of the complexity of the world. Critical race theory, global anti-Semitism, ethnic and gender and religious and social injustice, climate change, gun violence, all forms of hatred. I have a deeper sense of community, of how we are all in this together. As my life becomes busier, how will I translate that awareness into action without becoming overwhelmed? And as my anxiety level has heated, I've become aware of my snippiness under stress. For example, once I started driving, I became accustomed to driving with few cars on the road. Now, in traffic, I find myself quickly exasperated. Deep breath, savlanut, patience. We will readapt to discomfort, or we'll find another route. The more we do it, the more we get through it. The pandemic has presented us with challenges and opportunities to learn and grow. Re-entry into the post-pandemic world continues to present challenges and opportunities. By accessing our inner strengths and courage, we'll be able to manage our anxiety, to stay calm as we transition on. Inner peace. Shalom.